want to play the game. And I think that doing it that way, whereas you could still put Pugna mid, right? It's still fine. Sumail's played it before in the past. He's probably familiar with how the hero works. And then you could just have the roaming Mirana if you want to try to apply lane pressure. But even in that case, I'm not... Like, you arrow somebody on that team, who are you killing? You're going to kill the Tide? You're going to kill the DK?
Yeah, not really.
It's kind of tough. So it's, to me, it's a little bit of how do they want their lineup to function more than what gives them the better lanes.
All right, last pickup here. We're leaning towards the Universe hero. What's really left for them? I feel like they need like more solid initiation lockdown. But Earthshaker, Void have already been taken out. Batrider's out of the pool as well. There's like Legion Commander and...
They could also just... Okay, looks like we're going to see it. And
Whoa!
it's a Necro. All right.
Well, that...
It is Sumail Pugna, yeah. They swapped it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they swapped it around.
So it's a support Anaga.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you that question. How viable do you think support Naga Siren is? Because I don't know about you. I'm not feeling it. I think it's even worse than the core Naga because of the fact that the ultimate... Like, you're just not going to get the same kind of levels as support. So that level 1 Song of Siren nerf hurts you even more.
But I think that their lineup still has the longevity advantage. Like, if the game drags on, Zai will eventually get items, and then you have to worry about the lane pressure, and IGV are pretty much... I would say this is a fairly all-in style of draft. You know, you have insane team fight. You have Ravage, you have Call Down, you have the Darkness utility from Dogfights on the Night Stalker, not Plague Wards, Mass Serpent Wards, and just... You walk as 5, you're just not fighting it. You're just not. Like, it's too hard. You need some kind of pick-off beforehand. And I think in that same note, if you have the Naga Siren, and the Naga Siren gets too pressured in the lane, it's very easy for this type of lineup to collapse.
Yeah.
Where Necrophos, he can still kind of win his lane. We saw that earlier. He can carry the team fight-oriented items. Because push comes to shove, IGV are coming at you this game. They're not going to stop.
No.
Like, their lineup is not meant to sit back. It is meant to go. And I think that maybe they felt a little bit skeptical about putting all their eggs in that Naga Siren basket.
Right. Yeah, it certainly makes sense. I was a big fan of the Gyrocopter pickup just because it did feel like EG's lineup was going to be pretty slow and pretty exposed to that very fast-paced carry that we saw so successfully run by CDEC and that playstyle, you know, where you use that carry, you get your farm in, you rotate out of your lane super early, put pressure on the enemy team, and here with this switcheroo, EG now running a Necrophos safe lane. Maybe it'll be able to deal with a bit better. It'll certainly be able to deal with Tidehunter very well. It's,
Yeah, he doesn't care about that hero at all.
Yeah.
Necro doesn't care about anyone, man. He's so good. He walks...
I was trying to think about it earlier when we were talking about this. I was like, what are the most successful offlane heroes that I've run against Necrophos? And I was like, see, there's Nyx Assassin, he does the mana burn, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you mana burn him because he gets the right clicks in to be able to eventually get, eventually he's going to get CS to get the regen. So he's going to counter whatever mana burn that you do. Even if you keep him away from Death Pulse somehow, you still have to constantly outlast hit him to prevent the regen.
Yeah, it's really tough. I think probably the best 1v1 option is Darkseer.
Yeah.
Just because you can push a lane so much harder than he can at the early stages that you can pull the creeps and get your advantage that way. But yeah, in general, he's just super strong. They are going to be chasing him out of lane here, though.
Definitely a good start. Nothing better than a Night Stalker shoving a carry. I know. Have you seen those plays where they on Dire side they wrap through and catch as they
go
pick up
past the bounty, yeah, back to lane.
And you just beat him on, These 4 positions, that's what they're all about. They're all about just threatening some core in the beginning of the game and forcing something bad out of you. Sometimes it's sitting in the mid lane and just zoning him out if you're like a melee mid. Sometimes it's just getting in that early chip damage like they did against the Necrophos, who's now going to be bottom lane since he's going to be trying to follow the Tidehunter around.
They're just looking for the optimal lanes. We kind of figured that the Tidehunter would be matching up against the Necrophos. It's just a matter of where on the map the heroes meet each other. Because IGV clearly don't want the Necro to farm, so they start aggressive. Super not going to be able to get the Shackle there, but I do think that these lanes are still fine for EG. Pugna's got insane int. He's got 630 attack range. His base damage is solid. Even against a hero such as DK, who is notorious for pretty much never having to go back to base if he doesn't want to,
Yeah.
I still feel like in this matchup, Sakata could find some problems.
Sakata went for a pretty interesting build. He went for the early Magic Wand, which kind of makes sense against the constant blasts of the Pugna.
He's probably just saying to himself, you know, worst case, I just scale Dragon's Blood at level 3.
Yeah.
And then I have like the 2 points, and later on when I get my bottle, I can just put the 2 points back to back into Breathe Fire. I've seen it before, it's just not as common.
Yeah. Meanwhile, our Mirana is always going to try and position himself against the Gyrocopter. Shadow Shaman is doing very well for himself thanks to Zai doing a little bit of pulling. He gets some CS, and I think that it's the first one, it's like the first level that's hardest for the actually.
Her base damage is just abysmal.
Yeah.
Like that's the
It's
biggest
awful.
that's the biggest concern I always had. But if you play it as a core, the cool thing is the creeps, like the large camp, is really close to the lane, so you can just casually arrow the big creep or whatever if you just want the extra experience, and you can take it away from the enemy as well.
Dogfights. Early ensnare from Zai and a lot of body. And they are going to be able to get the first blood onto Dogfights, getting some mail. An extra lead that he didn't really need already versus the Dragonite. He's doing well for himself. 13 and 6 compared to the 8 and 2. And you call it Draskell, he's going to go for that second level of Dragon Blood. Just because he knows he's going to need every drop of that regen he could possibly get. The homing missile going to land on his eye here. Can they actually finish him up? Universe is not going to share that damage. He knows it's too dangerous against Super Shadow Shaman with the shackles. So leaves his buddy support to die. Some CS in return.
It's kind of interesting going back thinking about the Naga support in this situation, because you think of like these ogres, these Night Stalkers, these really beefy early game come at me bro type of heroes.
Yep.
Naga's still got 6 armor. Obviously she doesn't hit as hard, but she can reduce your own armor. Her level 1 nuke still hits for 120. And she has a disable that scales by 1 second per level, which not a lot of heroes can say from a support position. At least if you're not like a Shadow Shaman, for example. And even his, it doesn't scale as well, and it's also a channel. So it's putting yourself at risk. Where the Naga Siren, you net a Night Stalker under the tower for 5 seconds, he's dead. So it kind of makes, I think, dogfights a little bit, okay, arrow coming.
Super didn't see that one coming. He is going to take a lot of damage. Looks like they are going to be able to bring him down. Zai is probably going to have to give up his life for it. Universe is actually going to stay and help tank, and they do manage to get the level 3 onto Zai, which helps him get out the mirror image, which might just allow him to survive until they get the Void on the correct one. Slow him down enough. Still, that meant a lot of extra damage that Universe was able to output on both of those heroes. That extra bit of survivability. So well played by him. Top lane, Crit does manage to snag the Bounty Rune away from In July. Attempted to contest. One of the best things you could do as an offlaner, right, is just go into that enemy jungle, grab the support's Bounty Rune, and then go back and grab your own.
Yeah, it's like that, and getting your own pull always feels really nice.
Yeah.
And it's a lot to do with the support movement as well. Like this game, EG supports have been rather mobile. They've been out and about, so you can, I think if you're in July in this situation, you're still a little bit scared, but at the same time, you know, you're already level 4. It's only 4 minutes in.
Another one. Super's going to get caught by the ensnare arrow combination again. They are really putting in the work for this off-lane Mirana. A lot of it helps that, you know, that starting setup. They're actually going to get another one here. They don't have the arrow, but they can just get a lot of damage chipped into Paparazzi.
He needs to be careful. Like if he gets netted again into another arrow and he doesn't use any of his regen, he could just die. I think he realizes this too. So he's going to back off.
Start backing away. The wraparound here looks like the stomp not able to go off the Void. Comes out from dogfights, actually stops that channel. Will allow Sakata to get back to safety. And they've got a shrine ready to go. So pretty efficient use of this one. All 3 heroes needing it desperately.
The more I think about this Naga support, the more it kind of feels perfect for this. So Rocket Barrage really only functions in a situation where you're only hitting one target. And the mirror image, you get the extra illusions on top of it. So sure, they die fast, but you're still eating a good chunk of that DPS output.
Yeah, absolutely.
Zai could be in trouble again here.
Holds onto the arrow. Universe throws it out. Now he's played by dogfights. Positions himself between the Mirana and his channeling support Super to be able to block the arrow, getting the maximum CC duration. Zai in process. Well,
I just want to take a second to point out, and it feels like a constant theme with EG games, but my god, Sumail is owning his lane. He is, like, over a level higher.
Yeah, he is definitely winning this one big time.
And it's not like there's a roaming Mirana. I mean, sure, they killed dogfights once when he came mid, but that's not the, that's not the mid player.
Takada. Stun out, Super not able to get there in time for the shackles just yet. The Void slows him down a little bit longer. Super positions himself to dodge the stomp, but now with the Invis rune, Sumail actually turns around. The ensnare stopping the channeling there, and Zai gets to the face. They are going to be able to finish up Super with the drain. Sumail now focuses on Sakata, who's also going to end up going down here pretty quickly. Does manage to get the Void off. The stomp goes down, catching two. Paparazzi tried to get away, but not able to do so, and they just run over all of IGV. 3-7, Evil Geniuses win a huge fight around Sumail in that mid lane.
That was a disaster. Like, the DK walked into an arrow in the river because they don't have any high ground vision on that side of the river. Like, their ward is kind of south of the tower. So they fought into potential fog high ground. They dropped a sentry because they really want to kill Sumail, but the problem is Pugna's just so fast.
Yeah.
He just walks away. And once he gets out of sentry range, he realizes he's fine. They get the turnaround. Universe manages to secure himself a couple of kills, and this whole time, Arteezy's top, he's just like, whatever, just hitting some creeps, not a big deal, didn't even need a TP.
Yeah, if they're worried about Sumail, Necrophos is also it's kind of like the exact same hero in many ways, right? It's a squishy intelligence hero that you could just blow up with a lot of magic damage most of the time, but you give him the space to be able to get his farm in the laning phase, he just becomes kind of unstoppable in a lot of situations.
I'm kind of concerned for IGV right now because we talked his middle lane.
Oh, look at that blast! The extra magic damage from Decrepify. Sakata just gets blown up. Now, he does manage to get off a decent amount of heal. They're still going to go for it. Oh, the Ravage goes down.
My God.
Doesn't manage to catch him. EG, they're going to try again, looks like, with the blast now. Moonlight Shadow's going to be good enough. They came in, tried to catch him with the gyrocopter, but no. And this is just more and more space. More space for Mirana. Universe and Arteezy, both love and life in the side lanes.
So they get the tower. They are able to force a TP reaction. Ravage completely misses. They're going to go for Paparazzi here. Not sure if they can actually get the kill, though. But Sumail is just playing fearless. He doesn't have anything in this game that he is legitimately scared of.
Yeah.
And that is a real big problem, because when the Pugna feels like he can just walk up to your tower at any point in time and just throw out the blast, that's the game that he wants to play.
Arteezy is actually going to be trying to stat up a little bit here. Rod of Atos. That change in Rod of Atos, opening up the double bracers. Ooh, I know there are so many supports that see a lot of value in that and a lot of intelligence core as well.
I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. You don't feel bad about buying 2 bracers. You know what I mean?
You don't. That's true.
It's just so stat efficient. The only
If you had the extra slots for it, an agility hero would be like, I'm down for double bracers.
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. It's just a matter of, like, the inventory space is what becomes the precious commodity at that point.
Yeah. Oh, nice play. Sumail sets it up. Managed to get the Trapfy into the arrow, and IGV just falling apart here at the seams. They seem to have no ideas about how to be able to stop EG. I mean, look at Zai right now. He's just chilling out in the mid lane. Super far position. All of EG members, like every single one of them, are positioned super forward onto IGV side of the map, because they just don't really feel much threat.
I think a lot of it just goes back to the laning phase and seeing how well Sumail did, which is not really much of a surprise on its own. Sakata gonna go for the TP here. Should be okay. But the bottom lane, they killed the Shadow Shaman twice in a 2v3.
Yep.
And sure, Zai traded his life or whatever, but Universe was farming. He's got 37 CS. The mid DK's only got 39. He's got more CS than the Gyro. And the supports, because they had to be in the bottom lane, the Shadow Shaman is still level 4. It's 10.5 minutes in. That is very underleveled for a support. Granted, I don't think he's used the tome yet, or I don't know if he bought it, or maybe they gave it to dogfights, but I think, yeah, okay, he just bought it now. So he'll be around level 5, which means he's like a minute or 2 off what he wants to be. Later Serpent Wards means you have no tower pressure right now. So they need to buy a little bit more time for those ultimates, wait for the next time that the Tide has mana, because Injuly is a little bit low at the moment, and they have to try to do something. They can't let the game keep running this course.
Now they've got the level 10 on Pugna, which gives him a huge boost in survivability, 225 extra HP. He also has the Veil of Discord.
He's got a regen cap. My God, that is the perfect rune for this type of game.
certainly is. He didn't even care about taking tower shots. Regen to work around with. Good. Even getting some chip damage onto the tier 3s. Meanwhile, IGV, they still have kind of this slower lineup because they have a Tidehunter. Tidehunter naturally is more of a farming offlaner than most others. He's still trying to get his mech.
Well, their lineup isn't supposed to be slow. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, you don't pick safe lane Gyro and a DK mid to not, you know, take objectives at the very least. You bring your Gyro and your DK to one lane. You say, okay, fight us or the tower's dead. That's kind of what you want. In July, getting a bit low there from the blast and the life drain. But I'm unsure as to how much time they actually have.
Well,
not much.
It's looking like maybe, what, 4 or 5 blasts?
Yeah, probably.
They're finally going to make the initiation onto him. They do have the Ravage, but they're not going to try for it. Crit covers Sumail's tracks there. But this is still, like, commitment coming out from IGV that is resulting from 0 kills and really not letting up the pressure whatsoever.
Man.
They are going to be able to get the arrow onto Cicada. Sumail sits in the back, drains his life away. They do manage to catch Universe on the side here with a silence, but what a clap. And now the setup here. Crit throws out that Earth Splitter, let off the sleep. The Ravage goes off to be able to protect them. Maybe they can turn this around with the Gyrocopter ultimate dropping down. It just can't do enough. There is not enough damage on the table to kill any of the heroes of Evil Geniuses. EG just 4 versus 5ing, basically, winning.
I was going to say, can we talk about how Arteezy's still not there?
I mean, this could literally be almost any other pro player in the game and be winning. Arteezy really hasn't had to do anything, man. He's played Necrophos against one hero and just kind of done laning phase things.
I mean, what is his saying for the boys? I think the boys are doing it for him this game.
Yeah, they really are.
That was not even a bad Ravage from Injuly. That's like the most depressing part, I think, for IGV is they had a really good counter Ravage, but the Shadow Shaman still wasn't 6. So there's no follow-up damage. Sure, the cooldown's there, got Zai really low, didn't quite finish him off, and then EG heal up, you know, they go for the Shrine, they come back, and they just want more.
Oh my god, now it's an Arcane Rune for Sumail.
He's got his Ether, too.
Oh no. Alright, bye-bye tier 3. IGV gotta cook up a plan fast. Like, if they want to stop this, they actually have to go and, like, smoke and do something, but they don't have Dragon Eye ultimate, and they don't have Ravage.
Yeah, no Ravage is the worst one, because EG realize, hey, we have, you know, at least a minute to be able to walk down to that lane and hit the tower.
Could be longer if they actually get this kill on Paparazzi. Fortunately, he does manage to sidestep that arrow, but it may not be enough to save him. Arteezy finally comes in, the team fight contribution, throwing down the Rod of Atos, still not enough. But
they do have Mass Serpent Wards now. Tower's gonna drop.
Tier 3 down, and let's just keep going.
Oh, they're gonna go for a wraparound. This is a nice idea.
Yeah, the 2 supports. Do you think he can catch the back lines? Run it Zai, but Cicada's already dead. This is the problem with the wraparound. If you are actually the ones getting initiated on, now you don't have your supporting crew. They're going in, but they don't have any cores. It's just Super sitting there on top of Arteezy, who's going to turn around and get the Reaper Scythe off. Actually doesn't manage to get the kill, though. And as a result, lacking a little bit in the regen factor. Rod of Atos and a clap. Damn. That is a dinosaur down and a disconnect to IGV. You might as well just tap out. That's the way I'm looking at this.
This is
just
rough.
go ahead and say, whoops, rage quit, GG, guys.
This is
next.
So there's one, well, maybe more than one, but there's one thing in particular that I kind of wanted to talk about, I guess, since we have the pause. Looks like there will be a reconnect. Most likely going to see the continuation of the siege in bottom lane. Not sure if IGV can really do anything about this. They have no ults. There's none. The Master Serpent Wards are dropped behind. They're going to probably just have to watch these Sidorax die. But the idea of, this is a pure magical damage lineup.
Yeah.
They don't have a right click. And normally these heroes are playing around their high base armors. They're playing around their physical damage mitigation. EG just say, fine, you want to pick these tanky early game heroes? You're going to lose before you can even buy a BKB.
Yeah. Arrow comes in. Paparazzi gets blown to bits from afar. EG don't even have to step past the rags to take that kill. That's a full lane by 15 minutes.
This has been impressive, to say the least. Like, the way they handled the early game, the rotations coming in from Zai, he gets the kill on dogfights in middle lane, kills the Night Stalker, helps Sumail get ahead. They go bottom, they kill the Shadow Shaman 2 times. Sure, trades, but, you know, getting a kill in a 2v3 and you're trading even, you're happy with that. Every day of the week. And top lane is a Tidehunter versus a Necrophos. No one wants to play that lane if you're Tidehunter. It just seems like EG managed to get the advantage in every single way. And this is kind of the result, is you don't see 14k net worth leads in a 15-minute game unless there has been a serious problem.
Yeah.
I mean, even that fight mid, it was just a disaster. They lose one hero, the DK walks into an arrow, then he dies. Like, Universe ends up walking away with, like, what, 3 or 4 kills, I think, during that engagement?
Yeah. I mean, this kind of makes me think back to, what was it, TI4? We had that push meta going on, and everything was so fragile. Like, the first couple of team fights you took, you could not afford any mistakes, because if you did mess up, which I think IGV.
I'll let it go, don't worry.
Sakata is going to be blown up by the Reaper's Scythe. He gets taken down. Now they go for the sleep combination. Look at IGV. They are all grouped up for this one. Crit. And out the sleep hits 4. Ravage goes down, tries to stop some of the damage. Just not going to be enough because Samael's sitting in the back. He'll take a couple of kills for himself. Triple there. And that's it. IGV, they'll call it finally. Not at 15 minutes when the first lane of Rax went down, but at 16 and a half, the second lane of Rax would have gone down. Unbelievable pace that Evil Geniuses just brought to this first game.